Hi guys, my name is Mark Pillar. I'm the founder of Backendless. With this video, I'm starting a series of video posts where I'm going to talk about many different things. I do not have a hard set plan for each and every video that will go into the series, but I do know that the topics will include stories about Backendless as a company, our technology, and many different things that our technology enables. We'll talk about customers and various use cases, about Backendless being used in the field and the kind of apps that people build with it. I'm going to talk about a lot of different architectural subjects, and you can definitely influence what we talk about in these series. Simply post a comment to any of the videos in the series. We'll definitely listen, communicate with you, and come up with a plan for making new videos. There are really no rules for each and every video. I'm going to try to keep it down to 5 minutes. Because I want to make it short, concise, and informative for you. And that's pretty much it. So the first video that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to give you an overview of mBaaS, Mobile Backend as a Service, which is going to be just the introduction into all things Backendless. So for this, I'm going to bring my whiteboard that you will see very frequently in these videos, and we're going to get started. So mobile backend as a service, it's a fairly loaded concept. It can include many different things, but the core idea is fairly straightforward. To understand what mobile backend is, let's take a look at the traditional client-server application. So a client-server application traditionally consists of two parts. There is a client side, which is what you have running on the mobile device, a tablet, essentially on the screen that the user interfaces with. So I'm going to put my phone right here and call it client. And there's a server side that the client communicates with, and this is server. So on the client side, traditionally, it's everything related to user experience, data entry, traditional workflows that users go through, all the information that is presented to the user. And on the server side, there's also a finite set of things that are happening. This is where your database is, where the data is stored, file storage. In some corporate systems, it could be message queuing. You're going to have your messaging, push notifications. So essentially all the things that would be happening on the server. And then the client is communicating with the server all the time to exchange data, to send data. Some security policies could be enforced and so on. So now, whenever you build applications, you would have a team of people building client side of the application, and there's going to be a team building the server side. And they are going to be equally hard or equally simple, more than likely hard, but take about the same time. Sometimes one part or the other may take longer, but nevertheless, time will have to be allocated. You will have to build that application, you will have to do all the integration, create your SQL queries, run all the code, do the testing, and so on. So this is a fairly large part of any typical project. Now, if you take a look at the effort that it takes to put something into the database, run a query, update a record, retrieve it, modify it, it's going to be about the same thing that you're going to be doing over and over for different tables. Granted, the business logic is different. However, the process of working with data records is going to be about the same because it's the same standard query language or structured query language, or in case of NoSQL, it's going to be about the same concept, but there is no structured data. Same thing with files. You're going to be uploading a file, you're going to be doing directory listings, you're going to be applying security concepts. Same thing for users. So let's say if you have some sort of user storage and you have users right here, you will need to make sure that users are properly registered, send out an email whenever they are registering to make sure that email address is valid, you apply security policies. So the code that you would have to write from project to project is about the same. Now, with backend as a service, all these things, working with the database, working with files, working with users, sending out push notifications, and many other things, they are captured in the form of reusable services. Which means that whenever you're using mBaaS, so now let's put this line right here and call this mBaaS, Mobile Backend as a Service. all these things, you do not need to write them by hand because they are available in your server as a set of reusable services. Now, these services are exposed to your client side in the form of API, Application Programming Interface, which means that in order to put something into the database, all you need to do from your client application is to consume that API. And then these APIs are accessible on the mobile side or the client side in the form of SDKs, software development kits. So for example, if you have an Android app and you need to start tapping into the server that is a mobile backend server, you download the SDK for Android and that will provide the APIs for the server side. As a result, the process of building applications is significantly simplified. You do not need to worry about any of those things because they are done and they're available to you as services. Okay? Now, the most important thing that mobile backend as a service provides, really as a feature, is not necessarily that it saves time, which is great, but most importantly is that it provides scalability as a feature, scalability as a service. Because if this mBaaS server is built right, no matter what kind of traffic your client side will generate, no matter how many API calls are being driven down to the server side, that server should be able to scale itself automatically, completely transparent for you without any additional worry. It may cost some more money because depending on the business model of the server side and depending on how many servers are being allocated, but nevertheless, scalability really as a feature. So that hopefully will give you an overview of mobile backend as a service, and we will be drilling down into these concepts deeper and deeper and seeing how one could actually build mobile applications using these APIs. Stay tuned. Thank you.